This action-adventure game, all about crime, has become a global phenomenon. Players can rob, loot, and steal without consequence. They can grab any car they want and shoot anyone who pisses them off. They just respawn and keep going. But the main character guy is just a regular dude. He's an NPC, a non-player character who's part of the game's programming. He lives in a fancy apartment complex in the game world and has no idea he's just a program. Guy goes to work with his best friend, Buddy, who's also an NPC. In this game, the only players are the ones wearing sunglasses. Everyone else, like Guy and Buddy, are just NPC. They all say the same things and do the same stuff every day, just following their programmed routines. The only difference is that they have to deal with all sorts of violent players every day. Guy works at a bank, and it gets robbed like 100 times a day. It's just part of the routine for him. He's even used to getting taken hostage. He tells Buddy he's looking for the woman of his dreams, but it's all so nonchalant. He's programmed to be oblivious. It seems like the game creators didn't even think about giving him a wife, or even a girlfriend. But then one day, Guy sees this gorgeous player on the street, a real knockout. He thinks, "This is the one. She's the woman of my dreams." Buddy reminds him that they can't interact with the sunglasses-wearing players, but Guy doesn't listen. He goes after her, trying to talk to her, but it doesn't go as planned. Guy doesn't die, but he gets sent back to his apartment. This player, Millie, is just as beautiful in real life. But the cafe is closed, and she's out of Wi-Fi, so she has to log out. The next day, Guy's back at the cafe, getting a cappuccino. A player in a tank decides Guy isn't an NPC and wants to shoot him. Guy's terrified and rushes to put on his normal NPC clothes. He goes to work at the bank, and as expected, the bank robbers are back. This time, Guy's had enough. Coincidentally, Millie's back in the game and walking by the bank. He sees his goddess again and has an idea. What if I could wear sunglasses? Maybe then I could date the goddess. Guy thought, then stood up and tried to grab the robber's sunglasses. But he got beat up. Really bad. His nose was almost broken. The player controlling the robber was actually a girl. Maybe she just wasn't that good at the game. Despite the pain, Guy grabbed the sunglasses and even punched the robber. All the NPC were shocked. This was never supposed to happen. Guy was eager to get out of the bank and put on the glasses. The moment he did, the world changed. Everything was different. There were jets flying overhead, icons popping up everywhere, missions being offered, health and ammo displayed, a medical kit in front of him. When he took off the glasses, everything vanished and reappeared when he put them back on. He touched the medical kit, feeling refreshed. All his injuries were gone. A new player, a rookie, accidentally fell and died. He dropped some in-game cash. Guy reached out and picked it up. His money went up instantly. With money, he could finally buy his favorite sneakers. This was normal for players, but to Guy it was magical. He thought the glasses were some kind of enchanted item. But the joy was short-lived. The game administrator, Keys, quickly noticed the anomaly. A player's sunglasses were stolen, and he couldn't believe an NPC could do it. He thought the game server was hacked, so he immediately joined the game with his partner, Mouser. They found Guy. They threatened to expose Guy and make him follow the rules or face the consequences. In this game, if you're banned by an admin, you're banned forever. But Guy had no idea what they were talking about. The misunderstanding grew, and Keys and Mouser pulled their guns, aiming at Guy. Guy ran in panic to a building under construction. Desperately, he discovered that his new sneakers had a jump boost. He reached the top of the building with one leap. The two admins were losing patience and activated their highest level of authority. "It's all pointless, like he's not even there," Keys said, disappointed. Guy was banned along with his car because of his lack of experience. But Guy was just an NPC after all. Even if he got banned, he wouldn't be banned. He woke up in his apartment just like nothing happened. Keys was surprised to find no change in the number of players online. He quickly realized something was off. Actually, Keys wasn't just a master gamer, he was also a game developer. The player, Millie, was his former partner. They had worked together to create a game called Light Excel. Millie was responsible for developing the AI engine that made the game's NPC intelligent. Keys was responsible for the game's modeling and diversity. But before they could launch the game, Free City came out. It not only stole their recognition, they realized that Free City had too many similarities to their game. Even the code was copied, but they didn't have any proof. Tsunami, the developer of Free City, also denied stealing any ideas. Their startup failed. Millie, unable to continue working at Tsunami's company, became a player in Free City. She was determined to find proof of Tsunami's plagiarism. After tireless efforts, she finally found a clue. But it was hidden in a player's house, guarded by heavily armed NPC security personnel. Millie planned to sneak in at midnight, but Guy showed up, causing the guards to panic and forcing Millie to retreat. Guy followed her to Millie's private armory. He said he wanted to be her friend. Millie's character was level 195, while Guy was still a level 1 newbie. She thought he was a weirdo and told him to wait until he reached level 100 before hitting on her. In this game, you can level up by destroying and killing, or by earning experience points by being good. Guy decided to follow the path of goodness, to fight monsters and chase his goddess. He was kind, unwilling to kill or set things on fire. He became the most unusual player in the game. He leveled up by punishing evil and promoting good. It wasn't easy because no player in this game had ever been good before. But surprisingly, his method was incredibly effective, faster than any other player. Guy's way of playing also changed the game's atmosphere, slowly turning him into a legend in Free City. Most players speculated about his real identity. Keys, the game administrator, was once again paying attention to Guy, but he couldn't find Guy's game ID. How could an NPC be capable of such bizarre behavior? It was unbelievable. Guy didn't take long to reach level 102. At the same time, Millie, overcoming her previous failure, had to ask Keys for help. He furiously typed on his keyboard, allowing Millie to bypass the security guards and sneak into the player's garage. The player was out on a robbery mission, leaving the clue vulnerable. But the alarm system was activated, and some guards appeared in the garage. Millie dodged quickly, accidentally dropping the clue on the ground. Just then, Guy drove his motorbike through the wall. The NPC was nothing like he used to be. More guards came out, but with Guy's newfound reputation, Millie escaped the encirclement. They sped off on their motorcycles, one after the other. Then, they took out their powered paragliders and successfully escaped. It was cool, but they still didn't have the clue. Meanwhile, Guy's actions for justice had made Free City very popular lately. He became a mysterious internet celebrity in the public eye. Tsunami planned to launch Free City 2.0, creating an upgraded version of Guy to keep up with the hype. Even though there were many bugs in the first version, which received a lot of complaints from players, Tsunami didn't care. He wanted to treat the players like fools. In another development, Guy took Millie to his private warehouse. Millie was speechless. Millie suspected Guy was an inside man for the game company. How else could he level up so fast? But Guy insisted he just wanted to be close to her. The scenery shifted, and Guy took Millie to a beach. It was beautiful and peaceful, without any violent players. There were no robbery missions, so they shared an ice cream, swung on swings, and strolled together. Guy suddenly said he wanted to kiss Millie. Millie was taken aback. The game didn't have a kissing function. She agreed without thinking much about it, but Guy went for a passionate French kiss. Meanwhile, Keys had found something amazing. The code for other NPC was just a few pages long. But when they clicked on Guy's code, Keys finally understood. The NPC in Free City were evolving on their own, becoming sentient, gaining consciousness. This wasn't Tsunami's work. The unique code that enabled NPC to develop self-awareness was developed by Keys and Millie. He rushed to pack his things, went to find Millie, and told her the truth. Lately, Guy had become a sensation on the internet for being the player who became an NPC. And other NPC were showing signs of awakening. No, that's impossible. I know it. No. It's true. No, I let him kiss me. They were both thrilled at the idea that their hand-coded code had created sentience. But then they realized something was wrong. Free City 2.0 would launch in 48 hours. The first version would be completely shut down, and all the codes would be deleted. That meant Guy and the entire Free City would disappear. There was only one way to save Guy's code: find proof of Tsunami's plagiarism as soon as possible. They didn't have much time to overthrow Tsunami. Millie sprang into action. She went back into the game to find Guy and tell him the devastating truth. This is all just a game, a video game. This whole city is a fantasy. Guy is just an NPC in this game, designed for player entertainment. That's why he can never leave Free City. But things were different now. Guy had his own thoughts. Millie hoped that Guy would join forces with her to save the entire game world. If they didn't, it would be gone in 2 days. However, Guy was devastated to learn that he was just a fictional character. It was the first time he had faced a problem as an NPC. He had finally found his soulmate, only to be told they weren't from the same world. Guy felt like a clown. He went to the beach alone, unable to believe the truth. He threw a stone. Yes, this was the boundary of the game map. There was no escape. He was helpless. There was nothing he could do. Guy went to his friend Buddy for a little comfort. If everything around him, including himself, was fake, what would he do? Buddy told him that even if this world was fake, at this moment, his desire to help Guy was 100% real. Guy felt a glimmer of hope after hearing those words. He immediately decided to save the game world. He took Buddy and broke into the player's garage. Don't ask how they got in. They'd been NPC for so long, they were familiar with the security guards. But this time, unfortunately, the player wasn't on a mission. They were spotted instantly. Unexpectedly, the gamer was a big fan of Guy. He was thrilled to meet him and told him to take whatever he wanted. Guy successfully obtained the clue Millie needed, a game video. It turned out the gamer loved to find glitches in the game. Once, he accidentally walked outside the game map, saw amazing things, and quickly recorded a video. Guy quickly took the video and went to find Millie. But he didn't know that at this moment, in the real world, Guy had become the center of attention on major websites. Players considered him a legend. Free City became more famous worldwide than ever before because of Guy. Tsunami wasn't happy at all. If this continued, who would care about Free City 2.0? Keys told him the truth about Guy being an NPC. They couldn't do anything about him. However, Mouser suggested directly restarting the server. This would revert all the codes in the game to their original settings. Guy would become a normal NPC again. When Tsunami heard this, he immediately ordered his people to restart the server. At that moment, Guy and Millie were watching the video. The video showed a paradise. Millie recognized it instantly as the template for Light Excel. That meant Tsunami had copied their game. Guy confirmed that he had seen this place. Suddenly, the server restarted. All players were forced to log out. Free City instantly reverted to its starting settings. The only video that could bring down Tsunami was gone, lost forever. Guy was back to being a clueless NPC after the server reboot. Millie desperately searched for him. The video was gone. Now Guy was her only hope. But he had no memory of Millie. Millie was utterly disheartened. But then, Keys quickly sent Millie an email. When she opened it, she saw a video. In the video, Keys explained that Guy's memory wasn't erased. It was just temporarily locked, according to Keys' hypothesis. Guy's encounter with Millie had awakened something inside him. Millie had made his code complex. If she interacted with him again, Guy might wake up. Guy was at the bank, doing his usual routine. As expected, another player came to rob the bank. But this time, it was Millie. She took Guy hostage and brought him to a secluded alley. First, she forced him to wear sunglasses. Guy felt the game world again, but he still couldn't remember Millie. Millie walked over and kissed him. Time seemed to stand still. Guy's code became complex again. He finally remembered everything. He took Millie back to his apartment without hesitation. The smooth, glossy doors reflected a true paradise. It turned out the life-simulating game had been there all along. But Tsunami had hidden it off the Free City map. After Millie told Keys, he decided to build a bridge across the sea at the border of the game, leading directly to the prairie outside. At the same time, Guy gathered all the NPC together and gave an impassioned speech. Although the NPC couldn't understand what he was saying, they had had enough of being mistreated by the players. They decided to attack collectively to change this violent world. Unconsciously, all the NPC were awakened like Guy. They hid in the cafe to prevent players from finding them. This turned Free City into a ghost town. Guy and Millie drove a limited edition sports car to the border of the map. Tsunami was furious when he saw this and ordered his people to stop them at all costs. They activated the highest level of God mode, intending to use the game to corner Guy and Millie. The path was getting narrower. At a critical moment, Keys secretly typed a code. A ramp suddenly appeared in front of the two. They successfully escaped with the help of the ramp, but it alerted Tsunami to Keys' actions. He immediately gave Keys a generous severance package. But Keys didn't care. In front of Tsunami, he pressed enter with his middle finger. A bridge over the sea was erected at the border of the game. Tsunami was furious. To avoid exposure of the scandal, he immediately ordered his minions to force all players offline and began his final plan. He told them to do everything possible to stop Guy from crossing the bridge. Instantly, all the players in the game disappeared. Millie sat before her computer, anxious. Guy was now her only hope. Keys had secretly entered a series of codes before leaving, switching all players to spectator mode. He wanted them to witness the truth of Tsunami's theft. But at this moment, a Guy-like figure suddenly appeared in the game, but he wasn't quite the same. He was Dude, the unfinished version of Guy. developed for Free City 2.0. It turned out that Tsunami had actually created an upgraded version of Guy. Before Guy could react, Dude charged forward and landed a powerful blow. But remember, Guy wasn't your average NPC. He instantly put on his sunglasses, using various game props to counterattack furiously. But Dude had thick, impenetrable skin and tough muscles. Even without game props, Dude's raw strength could easily overpower Guy. Luckily, Buddy arrived just in time. With Buddy's help, Guy had an idea: run towards Dude and force him to put on the sunglasses. Dude, as if opening a door to a new world, happily ran towards them. And Guy successfully set foot on the bridge over the sea, with Buddy by his side. But unexpectedly, Tsunami made a crazy move. He began to destroy Free City servers, causing the entire game model to slowly disappear. NPC frantically fled across the map. At the same time, the bridge over the sea started to collapse. Buddy, distracted, lagged behind. The collapsing bridge prevented him from catching up to Guy. But Buddy wasn't afraid. On the contrary, it was the happiest day of his existence in the game world. Before disappearing, Buddy told Guy not to stop. Finally, at the last second, as the bridge vanished, Guy successfully crossed it and reached the prairie outside the world. Players all over the world saw it. Tsunami had stolen the idea. This was an undeniable fact. Then, Millie stood before Tsunami. He had nothing to say, but he wasn't giving up. He was going to delete all the game data. Millie had no choice but to make a seemingly unfair deal with him. He could continue to create his own Free City 2 and 3. I don't need all the profits either. But the condition is that you return the game code to me. Tsunami readily agreed. As a result, Light Excel, created by Millie and Keys, was released. Free City was as deserted as a ghost town. Light Excel wasn't as violent as Free City. Players could live peacefully with NPC, and it was incredibly beautiful. Millie created a perfect blend of city and wonderland. Every scene in the game could be a computer desktop wallpaper. Fortunately, Buddy's code wasn't lost. He quickly returned to Guy. But next, Millie faced a difficult choice. She and Guy were not from the same world, so they couldn't be together. But Guy said he loved her, because that was how he was programmed. He wasn't just an NPC. He was a love letter to Millie. His creator must be somewhere in the real world. Millie suddenly understood something. Who else could be the creator of this game but her and Keys? It turned out that Keys originally wanted to make the NPC more realistic. So he created Guy, based on his feelings for Millie. Guy's dream girl was also Keys' dream girl, the most romantic love letter written by a programmer. As expected, lovers often find their way back to each other. The good news is that the story doesn't end there. It will continue in Free Guy Part 2, produced from a script by Matt Lieberman and Jacques Penn. Starring Ryan Reynolds and Jodie Comer, Free Guy is nicknamed Deadpool 3 by netizens. So there are many interesting plot twists and shocking scenes in the movie. Overall, it's a great movie. You should find the original version and enjoy it in its entirety. That's all for today. See you in the next video.